Yeah, we had to go out there and make this video eventually. Today we're going out there and talking about some comments made by an individual you're probably familiar with. He's had his fair share of time in the spotlight, he's had the cameras all up in his face, the microphones thrown at him, and everybody seems to know this guy. You might have known about this guy for a while, but he became up front and center, the #1 conversation when he won the Best Actor at the Oscars, slapping the heck out of Chris Rock in the process. Today we're going over to the NTDP and talking about Will Smith. And yes, I already used that joke in the Why I Want video. I opened that video up by saying, keep my prospect's name out your something mouth. And yeah, I know, we had to get it out there. We knew it. We had to do this. This is a thing, and it's going to follow this player till the end of his career. Will Smith is a US NTDP forward and a guy who is projected to being a top pick in the 2023 entry draft. You can go over the Why I Want video to get the full scouting report as to what he's about, how good he is, etc., etc., but long story short, Will Smith is a right-handed center, his consolidated ranking is 5th overall, and the team that's currently in the 5th overall spot at the draft is the Montreal Canadiens. They, unfortunately, did not get themselves the chance to get Bedard and Slafkovsky back-to-back. But with number 5, they're more than likely going to get themselves a good player, and with all the conversation stirring about as to Bedard, Fantilli, Karlsson, and maybe Mishkov being somewhat of the top 4, it opens up the door as to who number 5 could be at the draft. Now, Will Smith has been a name that a lot of Canadiens fans have been tossing around there for the past few weeks, even before the draft lottery came and went. You gotta remember Montreal was in the 5th overall spot anyway before the lottery. Only 3 teams moved, and they were all at the top of the draft, so Montreal, all the fans over here, y'all were prepared into talking about the 5th overall prospect from the get-go, and Will Smith is a name that had been thrown around there quite a bit. With the NTDP this season, Smith had himself a whopping 127 points in 60 games played, 51 goals, and 76 assists. He also had 20 points in 7 games for the Under-18s tournament for Team USA, which is just a staggering amount of points for sure. You go over the NTDP and you talk about that stacked 2019 squad with Hughes, Caulfield, Zegras, Turcotte, Boldy, York, Spencer Knight, etc. This year's group of guys with Smith, Moore, Perreault, who else is there? Oh my goodness, we just talked about this the other day. Ryan Leonard, yes, we just made a Why I Want video about him yesterday. I can't believe I forgot that. But there were a few names on this team that rivaled the point production numbers out of those Hughes, Caulfield, Turcotte guys from 4 years ago. It was kind of insane. And for Will Smith to do what it is he was able to do, it really bolstered his draft stock and pushed him up those rankings. The EP scouting report kind of goes out there and says it all. Will Smith is one of the draft's most gifted puck handlers, and he's a human highlight reel almost every time he steps onto the ice. His ability to turn the mundane, like a pass reception on the breakout or a puck retrieval along the wall, into something special is really something to behold. This is a skilled, fancy playmaker that can do it all, and he had some comments about the Montreal Canadiens the other day, as reported by Anthony Martineau. Now, this was translated into French. Of course, I mean, he's a TVA sports journalist, so the reply here from Habs on Reddit translates Will Smith's recent comments at the draft combine regarding Montreal. I think I could help the Habs with my hockey vision. The first player I'd love to play alongside of is Cole Caulfield. I think we definitely have fun together on the ice. And you can see the first reply is, it's Will Smith in Men in Black. Even on the original Anthony Martineau tweet, the first reply, he's so real, it's Will Smith. And yeah, this joke is never gonna get old. Maybe it's already gotten old in your opinion, but it's never going to get old to me. We have ourselves a guy going out there and talking about his potential with Cole Caulfield. And I know this isn't an isolated thing. All the prospects are asked about all the teams at the draft combine. It's nothing new to hear a prospect say something about some potential team that may not even draft him by the time the draft day comes and goes. But just hearing from Smith's own POV that Cole Caulfield is the dream, is a player that he could go out there and think about playing with and think about having success with, that's a good sign, right? I mean, stylistically, it makes the most sense out of all the other players, I feel, that would realistically be available for the Canadiens at number 5, because Bedard's not going to be there. You could say that Leo Carlsson's not going to be there. Adam Fantilli's not going to be there. Matvei Mishkov shouldn't be there. If he is there, then okay, the Canadiens should probably take Mishkov, but with all the speculation that the Canadiens might pass on Mishkov, even if he is there, it doesn't really bode well for anybody, I feel. Mishkov could even go somewhere outside the top 5, with all things considered. But for Will Smith, I feel like he's been a lot more of the safer name that people like to toss out there when it comes to 5th overall guys. We'd been seeing other names like Dalibor Dvorsky, for example, the two-way center that sort of models his game after Bo Horvat and Mikhail Backlund, be tossed around in there, but a lot of Canadiens fans are saying, no, why go after him? He is not as high of a ceiling as somebody like a Will Smith, who could be a playmaker assisting on 60 or 70 goals per year. This could be a top-of-the-line playmaker, and if he's already saying that he wants to play with Cole Caulfield, then I'd rather have that than a two-way center that'll probably be behind Dach and Suzuki by the time he is in his prime. Now, for Smith, you could say that if he translates into the NHL as a top 6 forward, he may get moved to the wing, which wouldn't be all too bad, realistically speaking. I mean, if you want to project the Canadiens' top 6 in their prime, Suzuki, Caulfield, Dach, Slafkovsky, you've got a few extra spots there for other guys to come in and take it. Maybe Will Smith is that guy. Maybe you have an Owen Beck cracking the case a few years down the line. If it is Will Smith, and you wanted to pair him with Cole Caulfield, you may start to get a few flashbacks here and there, seeing Cole Caulfield finish off plays that look like absolute magic. I'm talking about the Zegrises and the Jack Hugheses back with the NTDP in 2019. Will Smith, if he's able to maximize his offensive vision and skills at the next level, could be some sort of a similar player as those playmakers were in the NTDP 4 years ago. Cole Caulfield knows what it's like to play with guys that can just get him the puck in all circumstances. And Will Smith is one of those guys that if he really sets his mind to it, he can do just that. The behind-the-back, backdoor plays, tap-ins for his teammates, Smith is great at that. And that's not even a slight on Nick Suzuki insinuating that Cole Caulfield hasn't already found a partner to play with that is very good and compatible with his playstyle. It's just saying that if you wanted to add even more versatility, you could have more of that. Having Suzuki, Smith, and Caulfield on a line together would be pretty nice. If you wanted to move Dach over to the wing and have Slafkovsky there, have Smith in the middle, that would also work out too. Have Caulfield and Smith together, two NTDP prodigies. Prodigies, is that a good word? Maybe. That's okay, let's roll with it. Prodigies! Going out there and doing their thing together sounds like a great idea. But of course, this is just one conversation of many that you could have with the Canadiens at the 5th overall spot. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What are your opinions about Will Smith, the comments that he made on Cole Caulfield? What are your thoughts on the idea of the Canadiens taking him at 5th overall? And is he your main priority? I know a lot of Canadiens fans would jump at the gun and say, hey, Mishkov, I want that guy. Not anybody else Mishkov because he's going to be available. Okay, cool. But if you assume the top 4 goes in the way that many scouts believe it should go, not the way that it will go, but the way it should go, Bedard, Mishkov, Fantilli, Carlsson, who do you want for Montreal right after? Do you want to go right-handed defense? Do you want to go David Reinbacher? Do you want to go left-handed defense? Simashev? Do you want to go playmaking center with beautiful offensive vision in Will Smith? Do you want to go two-way center with a more projectable defensive game like Dalibor Dvorsky? Do you want to go with a bit more potential and upside like Edward Shala, a guy who's been projected as maybe the next David Pastrnak? Do you want to go with a guy who's more of a power forward like Ryan Leonard, Will Smith's teammate? Or would you want to go for the workhorse in Oliver Moore? There are a lot of players the Canadiens could go out there and target at 5th overall, but Will Smith is definitely one of them. Let me know your thoughts about this entire conversation in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this Vrishaj Roll 99, and bye.